I got ripped training just 3 days a week, and I only spent 45 minutes in the gym per session. Most people are under the misconception that you need to spend a lot of time in the gym to see results, but I've experienced the opposite to be true, and I've gotten into my best shape using minimalism. And in this video, I'm going to show you how you can too, and towards the end, I'm going to give you the full program that I've used for free. So when I first started lifting, I was doing a lot of high volume training because I was inspired by the old school legends. Arnold being the biggest one, but what I never realized was, 1, he was on a shitload of steroids. 2, the gym was literally his entire life because it's what he did for a living. And after realizing those 2 things, I decided to cut my gym time in half. But something weird happened after I did that. Because after I cut my gym time in half, I somehow saw more progress in the gym and got better results. I got leaner, I had more energy, and I even built more muscle. Here's the truth that the mainstream industry won't tell you. It's not the quantity of your training that drives progress, but rather the quality of it. And there's 2 main things that you need to focus on if you want to increase the quality of your workouts. And the first is actually the most basic principle of training, but I rarely see guys in the gym use it, and it kills your results if you don't do this. And that is to simply do more with time. And that sounds so fucking simple, doesn't it? But nobody does it for some reason. And there's this story that shows how effective this is. So Milo of Croton was a Greek wrestler. And once when he was a baby, he found a baby calf near his home. So he decided to lift it up on his shoulders and carry this calf. And the next day he did it again. And then the next day, guess what? He did it again. And day after day, he kept carrying this calf on his shoulders. And as the calf grew, so did Milo. And this is called progressive overload, and it's the biggest driver of progress and results in the gym. Because say for example, you do 5 reps on the bench press with 135 pounds. Your body's probably going to respond to it by going, wow, that was tough. So the next time we do this, I better be stronger, otherwise I'm not going to survive. But now imagine if you came in the next day and did the same weight for the same reps. Eventually your body will just adjust and realize that it no longer needs to adapt and grow stronger because the weight isn't going to get any heavier. Now here's what you need to know if you want to progress in the gym. Your goal should be to either do 1 more rep than you did last time or add a little bit of weight. And if you want the exact progression methods that I teach to my clients, you can join my minimalist fitness community by clicking the link in the description. Now here's the second thing that you need to make sure you're doing, and literally 99% of people in the gym don't do this. And if you implement this along with progressive overload, you'll get in better shape in 90 days than most people do in an entire year. And that thing is to simply leave less reps in the tank, or in other words, train harder. Now, before you click off, since this advice is a little bit more on the unsexy side, you need to hear me out. If you're gonna be doing short and infrequent workouts using the program that I'm about to give you, it doesn't make sense for you to half-ass your workouts. And no, training harder isn't going to make you feel fatigued, especially if you do it for short durations. If anything, it can make you feel refreshed because it takes away all the noise from the long day of work that you've had before coming to the gym. But simply put, you're leaving a lot of muscle growth on the table if you're leaving any more than 2 reps in the tank on most of your exercises. And this rule applies to you especially because you're going to do a lot less volume and a lot less frequency. So now that you've got the principles down, here's the program. You start off on the leg press and you do 3 sets. What's most crucial about the leg press is that you take it slow on the way down and explode from the bottom. But here's where we save time. With the 3 sets of leg press that we're going to be doing, we also do 3 sets of calf raises. So we do a set of leg presses, rest for 30 to 60 seconds, and immediately go into our set of calf raises. Then we rest for another 60 to 90 seconds, go into our set of leg presses. So on and so forth until all 3 sets are completed for both exercises. Now we're going to move on to some upper body work. We're going to start off with a close grip incline press, and we're going to do this for 3 sets. The most important tip I can give you for this exercise is to make sure that your shoulder blades are pinched together so that you're using your chest instead of using your shoulders and injuring yourself. And the second thing I would say would be to make sure that the bar comes all the way down and touches your chest on every rep. Now we're going to use one of my training tactics that I like to call counter sets, where we pair 2 counteractive muscle groups. And so with the close grip incline press, we're going to do an underhand lat pull down, or if you're strong enough, then the chin up. Make sure that you go all the way down on this exercise and you don't cheat, because if you skip out on the range of motion at the very bottom, then you're leaving a lot of muscle growth on the table. After this, we're going to do 2 sets of a close grip dip for the triceps, again, slow and controlled, And we're going to counterset that with 2 sets of any bicep curl of your choice. To finish our 45-minute workout, we're going to do 3 sets of a tricep extension and then counterset it with 3 sets of a lateral raise. Now, they're not exactly counteractive muscle groups, but since they have nothing to do with each other, the rule can still be applied. Tricep extensions are generally difficult to mess up, so you don't really need a lot of form tips on that. But for the lateral raise, I'd say to think of raising the weight with your elbows and thinking of scooping the weight up instead of raising it with your hands. And this should give you more activation in your shoulders.